fire mode. All these games that came out in or those weapons that came out in Tides of War have something about them that make them stand out. Your base guns, not really. Like all their specs are kind of the same. So maybe
Well,
we'll see some people go back and change that.
now that we're on that subject, we have a question here from Wormlight.
Mhm.
He wants to know what are the best weapons in the game, arguably.
Uh,
Let's go through some of them on the SimThink website. We got Assault class. What
so
would
I
you
know
say?
KHT makes a list about these things, and I'll basically repeat this list off
This
the
is
top of my head
opinions. This is
because
complete
it is
opinions.
it is opinion, but it is factually based in terms of relevance. Like the AGM-42, great
Uh-huh.
gun if you can hit headshots. If you don't hit headshots, don't use it. Your TDK is like 200 milliseconds with the double headshot at any range. Otherwise, it's 450 milliseconds. It's garbage. Don't use it. If you can hit headshots though, if you're a godlike aimer, use it. Wonderful. Beretta, don't use it unless you can hit the burst every single time. G15, great for pub stomping, but not statistically great compared to the other ones. Like the other ones are more specialized. G15 is very general. G43, great at range, probably the best 3-3 besides the M1 Garand. Carabin is more easily usable, but don't use the G43, or don't use it if you have the G43. M1 Garand is great. Use it, but
M1 Garen is great. Did you hear
I
that,
mean,
Jeff?
like it's not that much better. I would say it's still good. Like
Hmm.
it's around the same usability. M1A1 carbine is great. 1907 is the best assault rifle. All the other assault rifles are irrelevant. Don't use them. Overall, for the assault though, use the semi-automatic rifles. If you're not using those, use the 1907 and don't play above 50 meters. I mean,
Okay.
that's just yeah.
Medic.
Pathetic. All of the SMGs are kind of good now. They buffed them all, so they all
Yeah,
have their
yeah,
own
yeah.
little niche.
Multiple
So if you
times. Yep.
if you want to pub stomp, use the Thompson or the Suomi with the 50 round mags. If you want to kill
Yep.
one person in particular, use the Thompson or the Suomi with the high rate of fire. If you want a really good all round gun, use the MAB 38 or the MP 28. I like both of those really good.
High velocity bullets, kids. Don't forget.
Hmm hmm
345 to
Yeah.
560. So you know.
Oxymoron just said in chat the MP 34 is unironically just not good. That is correct. The best thing about it and what they advertised it before the game came out was that like it has a higher
Excellent.
damage at end, but that damage only kicks in at 75 meters. At what point am I going to be tickling somebody with a 75 meters SMG shot? I shouldn't be. It's it's just silly. Yeah. So it's one niche
Okay. Okay.
is
Okay.
irrelevant. They should and the same thing like the Type 100 that just came out. It has like a bipod and it's a laser beam, but it does less damage by one bullet, or by it takes one more bullet to kill, I should say. So it does 20 damage to
Oh
25.
no.
So yeah,
Fucking
you'll laser beam
wonder.
people, but like you're also doing one less bullet at range. So if you're not hitting every shot, even though it has better recoil, you might still get outgunned. So no, I would say you're best with a ZK with a high rate of fire, your
DK
Suomi, your
Master Race.
Thompson, yeah,
Everyone seems to be using
and
that.
maybe
The
yeah,
30
or EMP is
rounds.
actually good.
The
The
EMP is
the
pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's got some nice specs, and even though the rate of fire is a little bit low, it's still really usable. And then
Yeah.
so EMP, Thompson, Suomi, ZK, uh, MAB, those
That's
are all really
great.
good. Yeah.
That's great to hear that, you know, that's, it looks like
What
Medic was really well thought out, and
well,
there's
so
plenty of
this is
things to
yeah, like the
play
SMGs
around
themselves
with.
are really well balanced.
That's
It's
good
the
that you're
problem of getting
listing so
within that
many.
range. Yeah, and that's the problem with a lot of people that they don't think the SMGs are good because they're getting a lot of
Yeah.
they're engaging people at ranges where they shouldn't be engaging with SMGs. So that's where you use the medic smoke, and you push up, you use cover, you use smokes, you get within that range, and you have godlike hip fire. Like look at that hip fire, 1.2, and then you can put specs into that to make it like 0.8 and like no spread. Like you can hip fire people with SMGs out to like 30 meters accurately, hip fire. So you can move while hip firing and just laser beam people with the EMP. I mean, it is mind-boggling good. So medic is really good if you play to the class strength. If you use your smokes, if you use your infinite heals, you can dominate any server, provided you can get within the range of your SMG. And the bolt
All
action
right.
carbines are not bad either, but you need
Hey,
to like hit headshots. If you're not hitting
yeah.
headshots, you're
Forget it.
kind of losing out there. But again, it's a nice substitute for the SMGs on like the bigger maps like Hamada, where you're just suffering because Hamada's terrible.
All right. Support.
Yeah, support. I'm gonna be honest.
Shotgun
I don't
boys.
like support at all. I think support is just lame right now.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. What do you think about
it's
shotguns here?
Shotguns are good. Like they're
They're real
good.
good, huh?
Yeah. The drilling can like one shot people to absurd ranges just on buckshot. The 12 automatic can clean a room. The was it the 1897 can consistently kill like a whole room people. You know, not as quickly as the 12G, but still like chunk 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 chunk.
I
So
like
they're
how you
good.
guys
But
put the amount of pellets being is that
yes,
being shot out in one hit?
yes, yeah. That's
Okay.
one buckshot shell because otherwise it would look like, oh, 7 damage. I'm not killing anybody. What's going on? Um,
That's
yeah, so
interesting.
the
I like
shotguns are
that.
good, but you have to play to your range. If you don't do that, then you're not gonna have fun. So that means either you're playing on maps like Underground, where you just are always in that range, or you're, playing, uh, I don't know. If you were playing on Hamada, you'd only wanna play on those back flags in the castle area, You wouldn't wanna roam out there unless you have, like, the drilling and you wanna use, your rifle rounds, but even then, you're gonna get killed by other stuff that can shoot a lot faster. Your LMGs are good. Like LMGs do not have spread increase per shot. So like
Ah,
they're very, very accurate, but they don't shoot very fast. So like your
right.
SMG can shoot 770 RPM, but it does kind of deviate. Your FG42 does not. So you can outgun people, maybe not at close range, but in that mid range, that sweet area
Yes.
right there where like you're not going to beat an SAR, but you're also not going to lose to an SMG. You're going to have this range of dominance with the LMGs. So FG42 is a great like assault rifle kind of
Yep.
substitute. Same thing with the LS26. Your Lewis gun is a pub stomper. Maybe like your Bren gun and your actually the Madsen is like a better Bren now. It does less damage at
It
close
is
range, but a 5 hit
sniper
kill at any range,
rifle,
no
dude. It
recoil.
is
Yeah,
nuts. Look
yeah.
at
So
that.
you want to use the Madsen if you're trying to like engage at longer ranges. It's so good. It's nutty. MMGs they just need a little bit more maneuverability. Like, just make them. I mean, how's
Rate of
they
fire.
cater too much to being a prone. Let people move around a bit because if you move, you lose your ADS. And if you move too much, you might as well you get a hip fire. And that's just painful because then
MMGs
it forces you to play incredibly stationary, which is not fun unless you really
MMGs
are into that.
is one of the things I think they can focus on when it comes to like movement, maybe ADS. Maybe, I mean that half
I,
ADS thing maybe could be a little more accurate, perhaps,
yes, yeah, I think they
or
just
get rid
tighten
of
that
it.
up.
Like I don't know, I don't know,
Well,
but
I understand why they did it because all the MMGs so far have really good rates of fire, except for like what the 1916 or 1919 A6 and the MG34. Like 700 RPM isn't that great, 600 RPM is not that great, but they have a huge magazine capacity to make up for it or other good attributes. So like they're not as a whole, they're above average in terms of rate of fire for the entire game. So like they will
yeah,
outgun
it's
you
ridiculous. Yeah,
if
oh
they're set
yeah,
up and ready. So like they're
absolutely.
good. They just can't be ADS all the time because then they just dominate everything. So like I understand why they did it. And I kind of liked it in the alpha and the beta, but they need to make them more flexible because right now they're just not flexible.
Okay, okay,
So if you're gonna use one, the S2 200 is my personal favorite because it
I
just
like that
melts
one,
everybody.
man. I
Put the
like
high rate
it.
of fire on it, just laser people. MG42 is really good for just melting people even faster with the 1200 RPM. But if you want like an actual MMG, use the 1919 A6
Okay,
and
the
just
new one,
hold the
nice.
trigger down.
Yeah,
Or the
it's good.
Darn. The Darn is also really good. Yeah, the Darn in 1919. They're just bipod up, hold the trigger down, and just melt people at range. If you get the correct positioning, I mean MMGs are just too good. But because because you don't often get that positioning or you get caught out of position, you get punished a lot. So
I see. And then recons are well, it's useless. Okay,
yeah, don't
great.
don't
Let's
use
move
both
on.
these. Don't use both these.
No.
Use the pistol carbines if you're
Yeah, the
going to use those.
carbines, those are interesting. I
Both
like
the
those.
C96 and the PO8 are good in their own ways. So C96 does less damage. PO8 has some better spec. So just use whatever one you like more. But they're both basically SARs with less damage. Like they have no horizontal recoil. So they're just laser beams.
The ZH, a lot of people like that two shotter
Yeah, the semi-autos are good, but they're limited by mag capacity. So
at
if you
capacity.
you know
Yeah.
if you miss a shot, you're down 1/5 of your ammo. That kind of stuff. But they're
If you're
not
a
bad. And
god,
actually,
if you're
the
a
Model 8
god, do
is
it.
really
Yep.
good. The Model
Yeah,
8 got buffed. That is
it
even
did.
it's like a 200 millisecond TTK at close range if you don't miss your shots. It is really good now. So if you are accurate and you
Wow.
can place two shots if within 50 meters, you will drop people. I would really recommend the Model 8 now. But don't use the bolt actions. They're garbage. They have terrible velocity. Their threshold for skill is
Whew.
if you don't hit a headshot, you're gonna lose. Um, for the Model 8, I would go right, left, 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 but you can also go right, left, left,
Right.
right.
Okay.
That's the way I run it. The hip fire is nice and close range, kind of sketchy situations. But
True.
yeah, the Model 8 is
I
fantastic
enjoyed
now.
it. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Even pre-patch, I
Yeah, oh
somewhat
yeah, but
enjoyed
now
it
it's
as
even
well.
better. So
Now it's even
the
better.
only thing that's bad
We'll give
about
it a
it is that it
try.
gets a funky, like clip animation. But if you either
Oh,
make a
okay.
jump or you
Gotcha.
just choose an optic that is either 1 or 2 or 1.5 times. Don't use a scope on it because if you do, you cannot load with a
Yeah.
whole strip.
No,
So
yeah, I 100%.
yep,
Every time you see me play with the Model 8, it's always iron sight or
yep.
something close range, and it
So
works
iron
beautifully.
sights within 50 meters, you will dominate people provided you do not aim. Or sorry, provided you can aim
You
and do
can't
not miss.
aim.
Like, yeah, I use iron sights. I love it. It's fantastic. So the recon
uh,
has relevance, especially with flares. The flares got buffed to 30 seconds. So like
the
you can
flares.
really
Don't
play,
forget to use
yeah,
the goddamn flares, people.
you can really
It's
use those
crazy.
things. Yeah.
3D spot. It's just it's
3D
huge.
spot for 30 seconds over like what 20-meter radius. I mean, it's bananas. 20 to 40, I forget which. But yeah, it's good. It's real. Like abuse those all the time. Your team will love you.
And
You will love yourself.
finally, the
Pistols.
the pistolas here. They did
Mm,
overall. Did you guys
they
update on that
did.
already? They
Yes, those
updated
are
the.
accurate. Those are accurate.
Okay, cool.
So I would say if you want to use pistols, the revolver, even though it keeps getting nerfed, is still good because you get a one-shot headshot and it's kind of lenient if you miss a shot.
Mm-hmm.
The Model 27 is generally worse.
Did you try it already?
No, I haven't tried it, but just looking at the data, like the rate of
Oh,
fire,
gotcha.
it really punishes inaccuracy. So if you don't get that headshot and you need to make a follow-up chest shot, provided you didn't miss the first shot at all, then you kind of have to go, you know, you have to hope they can't aim. So I like it's
Yeah,
really
it's
good as like a
slow.
long range sidearm, but I wouldn't recommend it.
20s.
Revolver is generally better.
Damn.
Um,
People are
Let me
hoping
think.
for that to be the new
Yeah,
God gun. But
no,
it has a cool
but so
animation, flippy
it
flipperoo.
does, it does. But
There you
the
go.
revolver is still meta if you can aim, and it's still kind of lenient. 1911 got buffs, so it's not bad. You can still use it. Have fun.
It feels better for
It feels
sure.
better. It got a range extension did it wonders. So I would use that, or I would use
Mm.
the Ruby or the repeater pistol 1912. Or if you're kind of like if you want to hurt yourself but also really like the reward, the Type 94 is actually really good. Like it has the damage
Yeah,
model of the repeater
it
pistol,
felt good. I've
but
been
you
using that.
cannot miss. Like you have to hit your shots because
No,
you only get 4 shots to kill. Unless you
that's
hit
what I've
headshots, it's
noticed.
different. But
The
4 body
reload
shots, it
is
gives you
not
3 to play
good.
with if you miss, then you have to reload. So it's got the rate of fire of the Ruby and the repeater pistol. It's got the damage model of the repeater pistol. It's got a mag drop, like a full magazine. Doesn't do some funky stripper clip. So it is good, but you have to not miss. Like you have to be
Mm-hmm.
accurate and
Mm-hmm.
play your targets correctly. If you shoot 4 shots and you have to engage the other dude, either you better hit a double headshot within that 25-meter range, or you go and reload.
Bring back the Mars automatic.
The Mars, I think it was like what 35 or 34 damage
Doosh,
to like
doosh. Something like
40
that.
meters. I'm not. Good lord,
They
it
have
was.
that one that was in the data mined. It was a silence like
Yep,
gas
yep, yep.
pistol or something.
There's a
What the
well
heck
rod
is
that
well
was in the
rod?
files.
Yeah.
So I don't want to see the well rod, not because I don't think it's cool, but because if you scroll up to the Liberator, I feel like it's gonna get the same kind of treatment the Liberator did. Liberator is a one-shot kill with like a what 6 second, 7 second reload, and it doesn't even one-shot headshot to the head. So it is garbage. Like it's a meme, and it's on the same level as the Calibri of just a meme.
What
So the
if they
well
make
rod,
it? What if they make the well rod into an Obrez?
that would be cool. I don't think they're gonna do it because I think they
Why
were
not?
scared of their own Obrez. I think they
Oh,
traumatized them. But that'd be cool. I
they
would
need
I
to
would love
bring
to see
back
if
the
it was an
Obrez.
Obrez, that would be cool. I love the Obrez. It was a nice little close range skill cannon if you didn't choke.
Yeah, people had
So
so
that was a
much
cool gun.
fun with that. It really
Yeah.
brought the
I would
content. So
yeah.
if
And
there
there's
is
also
a
like
well rod, man, will be
there's
great.
there's there's a PPK that was in the files. The PPK suppressed that was in the files. 1911 suppressed was in the files. So
Obrez.
like
It's in the
there's other
trailers.
stuff. Yeah,
In the
there's other stuff
trailers.
floating around.
Really? Yeah.
Um,
That's a 5v5 thing. I think that fucked all that up. Mm-hmm.
Somebody just in chat, Newport said, "Do you
Yep.
believe the AGM 42 needs a buff?" No, it's really good at its niche right now, which is
They just got
rate of
hit the
fire of
headshots.
M1A1. Yeah, you just have to hit headshots. It's like you can two-shot headshot anybody at any range if you do not miss. Like if you're accurate, you can dumpster people in 200 milliseconds at any range. That is insanely good. Just
Somewhat
don't
similar
miss.
to the mass 44 as well.
Yeah, the Mouse 44 is like a 3-hit kill at like any no, okay. Yeah, it's a 3 to 4 hit kill, but what's nutty about the Mouse 44 is that it has the highest velocity in the game, I think. If you put on, high
820,
velocity, I
huh?
think it's like 960. No, 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 you put on high velocity, it's like 960. And it's like
920.
I think that's the high, yeah,
Jesus.
which is just
Da, 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 da.
it it
Yeah.
it's almost double the speed of some of the sniper rifles. Like, the Lee Enfield, I think, is like 500, and you have a semi-auto French prototype rifle that never existed in any large capacity until its actual revision came out in 1949, and it's the best sniper in the game in terms of velocity. Like, and yeah, see, that's
Our
the kinda stuff
buddy,
that bewilders me. Yeah.
one of our friends here that I had on the show, he loves this gun. Vince's graphic, the Moss 44 is his baby,
Mhm.
and I'm wondering it's because of those high velocity bullets that
Yeah,
it's just so satisfying to get kills with it.
you know,
That's
when
why
you're
he just
dealing with a
stuck to it,
game
you
that
know.
has, projectiles, and some of the projectiles are kinda slow in this game, like the
Yes.
sniper rifles with SMGs, and you get a gun that seems to shoot railgun at 920 meters per second, you're gonna feel like you're killing people because, your response is accurate, like, you get feedback immediately. I killed the dude, and it felt instant, and it feels good. That's why your velocities cannot be dog poo poo, they have to be you have to make your players feel like they're hitting people. And I understand that, either that you do that with like tracer rounds, which a lot of the guns have, but
Hmm.
just when you kill somebody in 3 shots with the Model M44 and you just feel it and just like pop, 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 and they're gone,
Yeah.
deleted instantly. Like that just it's so satisfying. It's so good. And
Well,
not a lot of
shoot.
guns in this game kind of give you that feeling.
Overall, like we've listed, named many weapons, and I mean, just to answer the user's question,
Mhm.
I think it's pretty good in my opinion for weapon balance. I mean, there's plenty of things to choose from.
Yeah,
There's
I
some
I would say
variety.
I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, you can't say this," but the gun balance in this game is pretty good. I think the gunplay in this game is maybe not the best has been the franchise, but it's the least of this game's worries, right? There are many other
Yes.
games things in this game, like the vehicle balance, the map design, the art direction that needs to see fixing before the guns get tweaked. Guns as a whole have been doing all right. They've been well
I'd
enough as they
agree.
are, and it's you know, maybe there's certain things I think people don't agree with. Some people don't like spread the recoil. Some people don't like the way certain guns are balanced as a whole versus other classes of guns, but they're not terrible. Overall, it's the least terrible of this, which is good because this game needs some plus sides. So leave the guns as they are, keep putting in new guns that have some purpose,
Hmm.
and focus on the other stuff. Focus on the maps, focus on the gameplay, fluid, whatever it is. But guns, they don't have to worry about too much anymore.
Okay. All right. Incarnate, man, that was a. I hope that answered your question. By the way, that's only a 30-minute